Hey, what a what a week. Okay, everybody, buckle in. Welcome aboard to this week of the American Rail Club. Um, I was figuring on maybe changing the music just for this one because it's more of a darker tone. With everything that's happened this week, yeah, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. That is, man, that he didn't deserve that. Okay, good. You guys can hear me. Yeah. Um, I know well, if you guys want to talk about that, well, but let me at least first go through the main subject of this. Let me just make sure the chat is working here on YouTube. I hope you all can hear me. I hope you all at least personally having a good week. Yeah, I know there's a lot of guys who followed or were part of TPUSA. I've had friends in college started in TPUSA when it first started out, especially during oh man, 10 years ago, man. Shoot, man, time has flown. But yeah, guys, this is it's going to be a touchy subject. And we're not going to go over most of what everybody's talking about on X and Twitter and all about the space because that's been talked to death. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about this, and we have been talking about violence and crime on America's transit systems for years. This has been something that we are not at all a stranger to this sort of subject. But it has now become more and more national news. Everybody is starting to understand sort of the dangers that the average American citizen has to face on our transit system. And the reason why there is so much gridlock. Why is there so much traffic? Why do people prefer to go in cars rather than on public systems? It's because people not feeling safe on America's systems. That's really the main part. Okay, I know. Yeah, it has to do with the consistency, or people don't want to. Let's put it this way. Yes, a lot of rail systems and transit systems and bus systems in the United States are always slow. They're inconsistent. They don't get to where you need to be going on time. They're dirty. They're dingy. They're underfunded. But a lot of the reasons why is because, especially in at least in this time and era, is because of this. If we cannot get past this, there is no fixing America's system. We've talked about this early this year, even with the riots that happened in LA. What is the whole point of rebuilding this country when we are going to have people, whether it's migrants that are coming in illegally or whatever name you want to give them, illegal aliens, whatever else it is, or even people? That's the thing. We bring in more people. We already have people already over here that cause a lot of problems. So if we can't even get to that level of fixing we're not going to fix anything. We're going to build stuff so this sort of thing can happen. Light rail system in Charlotte, the links, which got a lot of funding, and it was a newer system. And this is what happens. What is the point? And I know, look, there's a whole bunch of articles, and we can go over the whole entire thing. Mass transit has an entire section: bus, rail, technology, and safety and security. It's like one of the biggest things. And look, I work in the transit industry, at least in the other side of it. But from the places that I've gone and to the trade shows that I've been in and all that sort of stuff, one of the biggest topics, apart from the driver shortage or the staffing shortage, and that's a whole other reason in itself. And a lot of the staffing shortage has to do with people don't want to drive a bus and then get attacked. That's a factor. That's definitely a factor in play. But after the driver shortage, the number one factor that a lot of people wanted to talk about, apart from buses or transit or anything that sort of stuff, is safety. Even to the point that it's even school buses now. that one of the biggest things that are being sold are cameras, safety, and AI security systems for school buses for children, because there are fights breaking out in school buses, or crazy things happening. This is the sort of stuff and the sort of world that we've been going to. We've been warning about this for years now. For years, we've been warning about this. And it comes to the biggest thing that we've been saying in this club is about no consequences, no changes. That has become a thing in the last couple of months. It's like, if we're not going to see any consequences, there's not going to be any changes. Now, we can go to this quickly through, and I'm not going to speak on some of the other subjects about it, but look, we could have a different system. And this is somebody who's spent thousands of hours on public trains. I've been on buses. I've been on trains. I've taken buses and trains to work. Okay? I've practiced what I've preached. I don't say things and then not do it. Now, here in Indianapolis, I can't. Even back in Miami, for all I get Miami, at least there's some sort of inkling of a public transit system, even though SFRT and everything else. Yeah. Look, Tri-Rail, everything else, it has its issues and problems, but it's pretty good. Only issue was the Miami-Dade bus system, where you had upwards of 20% of the bus drivers every day not showing up to work. That's insane. And again, no consequences, no changes. If those bus drivers have no consequences, no changes. There's a lot of consequences that need to go around and that haven't been going around. Okay? But this is insane. And we've been talking about this, that it's getting to the point that, well, what can we do? What can we pragmatically do? Okay? What could this poor woman, okay, 22 years old, came from Ukraine, okay, well, it's a terrible situation on its own. Now, let's, the unspeakable horror of millions of men dying in such an absolutely terrible, horrific war that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening at all whatsoever. It was completely preventable. But this poor woman comes over here, thinking she's going to be safer, works at a pizza parlor. She's trying to do her best. Classic American dream. European immigrant comes in over, works from the bottom up, tries it, and then that happens. Stabbed in the neck. And nobody around her helps. This is the type of thing I've been talking about. That this country is not the same country that it was a generation or two ago. Not even in one generation. We've had a lot happen this week. And I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to talk about what happened with Charlie Kirk, if you want to. I'm just going to try to focus on this and try to get through this as quickly as possible so you guys can talk about what you want, because we want to see if I can get through the stream in a timely manner at about 9:15. And I'm going to go through this stuff real quick. But mainly because we've talked about this before. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's unfortunate and it's sad. Where my grandmother-in-law, okay, my wife's grandmother, okay, in Milwaukee, the worst thing she had to deal with on the streetcar were Italians that had garlic bread. That is it. That is the paramount of diversity that she had to is Italians with garlic bread. And I can say that as someone of Italian heritage, okay? So that's, it's changed so much. This country has changed so much, and not for the better. And it's the 24th anniversary of 9/11. I'm not going to get into what are the causes of 9/11, because obviously the official story is not the real story of what happened. I'm not going to get into it. But there is such a stark difference between that country before and what we were promised. And especially for us millennials who went through it and remember it in different ways. A lot of us were in school. And we all have the same similar story. We're there in school in the morning. All of a sudden, teachers are looking worried. Everybody's scared. Some classrooms bring in TVs, and then everybody starts going home. And we come back home to start figuring out, like, oh man, what is going on? This is it's pretty scary. Even for some of us, I was 7 at the time, but I mean, I still remember almost everything that happened, to the smell of the classroom and everything. And I have a better memory than most, granted, but I mean, everybody has a similar sort of memory of everything that happened. And it's the same thing with the 2020s now. Okay, this decade has completely changed the way this country is going. Okay, a lot of stuff this week. It's completely bad. And the sad thing is that yeah, no one's gonna help. The poor girl bleeds out to death within minutes. I think everybody has gotten familiar this week with how the circulatory system works within the neck area. Okay, the carotid artery, you start losing 1 to 2 liters of blood. You're going to start by 1 liter. You're already getting woozy. Okay, 2 liters, 3 liters, you're gone. As your brain shuts down. It's what can you do in this sort of situation? The first thing I look pragmatically is be careful where you're going. Every time I've gone on tri-rail or any sort of system around the country, I've been on streetcars and public transportation from New York to LA and everywhere in between. Okay, when I went to LA, I had my tripod ready to go. I'm looking around, heading a swim. The only place never had to do that was in Tokyo. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But you guys have to be. This is what it is. This is a low trust society we're dealing with, where nobody is going to, and that's the problem. Nobody's going to help. And part of that is, if you're trying to help somebody, you're the one in charge. It's a backwards system. We talked about backwards systems. So in the last stream, it's top down. Okay, where a lot of these companies we talked about, like the data centers. Google and Facebook and Meta can go ahead and rush through a data center, but if you, Joe Schmo, wants to start a small business, you're going to face the brunt of regulations. And it does the same thing when it comes to crime. If you're the little guy, you go 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, or you do the right thing, there's the blue. There you go. That's what the blue will do to you. And unfortunately, it's sad. It's sad that we have to come to in this country. Absolutely terrible. Okay, and again, it's there a racial element? I'm not going to talk about that here. It's been talked a lot already. But there you go. For whatever reason, there you go. 3 white guys not doing anything. Now, could it be because they don't want to end up like this guy, or what? I don't know. Now, practically, what can you do in that situation? I mean, I carry a tourniquet on me all the time, and that's honestly more important than carrying on a piece or a concealed carry or whatever else that I can say it in a way where YouTube doesn't completely shut down my live stream. But I mean, the only thing you can do is maybe put a thumb in it, like Kentucky Ballistic style. Or at the very least, take off your shirt, or somebody's take off the shirt and just put it on there. That's the only thing you can do. Some sort of e-marshmallow. And I tell everybody, you take some class, a medical class, trauma class. They operate in firearm stores that know what they're doing and stuff like that, or anywhere else. And they're not expensive, and they're 1 or 2 hours. It definitely helps. So we have to start taking care of ourselves. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. This is the sort of country right now that we're at a breaking point. And this is the reason when I talk to people when it comes to transit. Yeah, they talk about it's slow. It doesn't come to my area. It's always late. There's not enough. The frequency is not on time. A whole bunch of a slew of reasons. But the number one reason that is never on any of those surveys, that nobody wants to talk about, the unspoken truth, is that Americans feel unsafe. This is why America, part of it looks like this every single day. Because all these people are afraid this might happen to them. That's a fact. Let's be real clear about that. It is a factor. It is not the main factor. But if we really are serious about trying to get people out of this, we can do everything we can. We can make the perfect system. We can, within a day, like we talked about before, the magical gnomes within a day can fix every road and every piece of infrastructure within this system. They can fix everything overnight. They can make us high-speed rail and everything like this. But if this happens, if this is the reality of being on that system in America, no one's going to want to be on it. It's the sad truth, but it's what it is. It could be perfectly on time. It could be everywhere. And it happens even on the best. Again, no consequences, no changes. This guy was let out multiple times. We have talked about this before, where people get away with so much crap multiple times, and they completely get away with murder. With murder. Okay? And this is the problem in America, is that we have these two paths, and you're not allowed to, or you get completely. And it took so long for Daniel Penny to be vindicated of what he did on the New York Sun. What he did was completely right. What happened to Irina Zarutska was completely wrong. The poor girl didn't deserve that. Not at all, whatsoever. Nobody does. To be going home from work on public transit in America. She left a war zone, a literal war zone, a war that shouldn't be happening. And unfortunately, a lot of our politicians and European politicians push for that war to happen. Don't have to get into the whole nuance of that. But in very simple terms, she came for a better life and was killed for it. It's sad and it's unfortunate, and it's a problem. And I'm glad that people are talking about it, because this is something that needs to be talked about. We've been screaming about this for years. Okay? At least now the president, I'll go ahead and put it on if you guys can hear it. Let me see if I can. Again, the last time I did this, it didn't come on. Here we are. Let me go ahead and put this while I try to relax.
This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. And here's a picture.
Now, this is yeah, completely true. Look, and we've talked about and we've crapped on Trump a lot of times on this channel. We don't have much faith that he's going to get us out of this. He was a ladder and he rung up. He brought down the ladder, but at this point, I don't know what he can possibly do to really fix this sort of stuff. Let me see. You guys hear that? I don't know if it was working before. Let's see. Okay, now it's working. There we go. Yeah, it's rough. And the worst part about it is again the lack of consequences. This is the worst part about everything going on in this country right now, is that there's a severe lack of consequences. Okay. When I was in the law academy back in high school, we did a ton of death penalty cases and went over the case law and all that sort of stuff and precedent for particularly juvenile case law. And a lot of these cases were so flippin' absolutely grisly deaths. Like this absolute just grisly, horrible deaths that these 17-year-olds or these 16-year-olds were capable of doing. To the point that they said, you know what, the death penalty is the only way we can get rid of this problem. Because an injustice to in one side is not merciful to everybody else. And the problem with a lot of these even if they were charged with a death penalty or whatever else, the recidivism rate is so high, even if they get away, that what possible good can you do? Now we're getting into legal theory and all this sort of stuff, and at this point, I've been done debating legal theory with most of everybody. It's like, no, nah. I've been done debating like the other side of things when it comes to it. Okay, and that's the thing. The average death row inmate waits 20 years before execution. 20 years. Okay. If you really want to get ticked off, that's just the average, okay? Because they'll be there, they'll be appealing the cases. These goodwill lawyers with pro bono will go ahead and try to get them out or whatever. Terrible. Look, lawyers can do very good things in this country. We have very few, unfortunately, very few good lawyers, which is one of the reasons why I quit pre-law on the track. Even though I've shadowed judges and gone on a lot of stuff, I felt even back then no faith in the system. There's just no way to get out of it, especially probably the one thing that really ticked me off when I was shadowing one of the judges in the North Bay Justice Center was, and this was like at the height of the housing crisis, where people were just getting blown out of their homes, and Bank of America had basically this team of lawyers that were just defaulting people left and right. Didn't matter their race, color, or creed or whatever. They were just after everyone. It was just insane. It's like, how can you go against a monster like that? If you really want to get ticked off when it comes to the death penalty in this country, look at the Wichita Massacre. Okay, this happened in December 8th, 2000. I'm not going to get into the details of this because it's absolutely horrific what happened to this. Okay, again, I've been telling you guys for a long time. Okay, all us men here, we need to start being far more. We need to be far more capable than what we are now. Okay, yeah, I was so ticked off today. I bench pressed 315 pounds for 9 reps. I'm trying to get the 10 reps, and I failed on the 10th rep, just pushing it up there. Just so ticked off this week. It just, I mean, yeah, just you have to take that. All that anger that we're feeling has to be put into something. Take care of your families. If you have your wives, your girlfriends, take care of them. Okay, your families too. It's going to get worse before it gets worse. Before it gets better at some point. I don't know how many cycles of worse it has to get, but we're getting there. By the way, these two absolute animals are better. These absolute demons are still, after December 8th, the year 2000, they are still on death row 25 flipping years later. And you wonder why a lot of young men, have no faith in the system. Here's the dual wielding hero. Oh no, not the dual wielding hero of Dundee. This is another one. Again, this is something that happens way too much on American transit systems. I'm not gonna put the volume up because there's too many gamer words on there. You can tell what words are being said. But there you go. Yeah, here's you can be the dual wielding warrior. Celtic Princess of Dundee, or this guy, the dual-wielding nuclear scientist of DC. You can already tell where this is. Or is this LA or is this DC? I just hate these colored chairs. I think, is this DC or is this LA? I don't know. At this point, it doesn't matter anymore. It's all looking the same. Oh, man. But let's go to mass transit over here. Where did that article go? Okay, hold on a second. That's interesting. It disappeared. Okay, let me fix that. By the way, you can scroll through mass transit on the safety and security section, and this just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay, now a lot of these systems are saying we've seen the safest month recorded, the safest month this, the safest month that. Yeah, the New York subway transit system sees safest month recorded for subway system. Since when? Because it's at least since the 1960s, the mid to late 1960s. It's been pretty brutal. It doesn't give you what they. That's the thing. When it comes to the whole entire system, you can't believe it. Now, could be fair. This could be a one-off situation. And crime just barely ever happens in North Carolina and Charlotte on the links. But then why? Why the absolute need? to be needing such an increase in security on all these systems? Why such a major show of force? Which, look, this is fine, okay? And even when I was at the last major system that I've been on was in LA, and there was at least on the Hollywood station, there was at least 3 uniformed officers. Okay, not transit officers, like actual LAPD on there, in the train, on the platform. Felt a little safe, a little safe. Okay, not that I trust. Look, if something were to happen and I try to do something to save myself or somebody else, this is what may happen, and this is that's the thing. Again, when it comes to trusting the system, it's very low, and it's proven to make itself very low. Okay, which is why we can't get actual working transit in this country. We've talked about. That's the problem. It's just the whole system is just completely just broken. But let's go to here we are. Why is it not working here? There we go. After Charlotte train stabbing, former leaders reflect on light rail design choices. Experts and former officials who helped launch the light rail weigh in on how the light rail's design safety impacts safety. And the Blue Line opened in 2007. Okay, relatively newish. It's not like something that's been around for decades on end. It's not that old, not that old. Not that, completely new either. Not like in the last 10 years where you've had a new slew of light rail systems. But here's the thing. Why Charlotte's light rail doesn't use gates? Charlotte uses an open proof of payment fare system for the light rail. The rail does not use gates or turnstiles to control traffic onto the boarding system. Okay? Hence, basically an honor system. And you see this in a whole bunch of places. Okay? When I've been on Tri-Rail, you have your pass when you get a ticket. And you're assumed that if you're on the train, you've swiped your pass or you've gotten a ticket. Okay, when the conductor goes through to go ahead and check tickets, I've seen so many times, like 2 or 3 shifty characters that always get on there and they're trying to squirrel around the train to try to avoid the conductor or run off the train. Like that one time I was on there, it was like 6 a.m. in the morning. And this one guy was back and forth trying to find some place to sleep on the train. And he didn't pay for it. And the conductor this guy's already done this already multiple times. Okay. Finally gets to him and he runs off at the next station, almost trips off the platform and runs off with his pants falling down. I don't have to say much more. But this is the thing. This is something that used to be in this country, a regular light rail system, streetcar, trolley. Yeah, you pay your ticket, you go on. There's no need for turnstiles or any of that sort of stuff. In the light rail's early days, cats tended to check tickets frequently enough that people assumed the risk of getting slapped with the fare evasion fee was too high. McCrory said the transit system imposed strong penalty fees on riders who didn't pay. And of course, look, this guy obviously didn't pay. But this is the thing, is, look, we know this, where this is going with everything on here. Yeah, safest month on record. Record since when? Since when? It doesn't tell you when. It doesn't tell you when. So who knows if they're making up half this stuff? Does it feel safer to you? Does it feel safe? Now, even the Federal Transit Administration, the FTA, is now giving the links 15 days to fix its safety after what happened. Whether they're going to do it again, I don't know. To what end it's going to happen, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be that much happening. FBI Director Kash Patel, he's been pretty busy for the last week. The agency has been investigating the Charlotte train murder from day one. No further details provided, but Patel said to stay tuned. Yeah. Look, again, no consequences, no changes. It's just what it is. Okay. Now, look, when the MTA says stuff like this, and these high-profile murders, deaths, incidents of all sorts happen on transit system, It's just going to be a slap in the face of whatever sort of thing that they're doing. Now, granted, to what end do they need to do? Okay, because unfortunately for New York, okay, this sort of thing happens. Okay, this sort of thing happens on trains. Like we talked about this, where a woman was burnt up by an illegal that came over. Just burnt the woman alive on a train. Now you can say, "Oh yeah, this sorts of things happen in other countries." Yeah, it happened in Japan like once 10 years ago, or a sarin attack that happened in 1997 in a country of 120 million people, where they have on average maybe 42 murders per 120 million people. Let's put it this way. There's more murders probably happening right now in Chicago that are going to happen in a year in Japan. Okay? And it's not just on the subway in New York City, by the way, because this is the problem when it comes to crime. And it's not just the subway where people who get away with just basically little to no consequences. It's also in the cars. Now, it's Brooklyn. We know the kind of people that live in Brooklyn. Okay? But look at this. Mother, 2 children struck and killed while crossing a street in New York, 10 injured in a crash. Okay? The woman who killed, a mother and 2 children while crossing the street, okay, and killing multiple people. I'll go over this real quick again. No consequences, no changes. Okay? This woman, let's see what her name is. Let me see. Miriam Yarimi. Okay, look, it's Brooklyn, guys. But anyway, look at it. Yarimi's blue A3 sedan, and just as her Audi A3 sedan alone had 99 parking and camera violations between August 2023 and March 2025. Okay, within 2 years, this woman's booked 99 parking camera violations, 21 speeding tickets, 5 red light tickets, with nearly $10,500 in fines. A vehicle with the same license plate still has $1,345 in unpaid fines. Well, she told force responders that she was possessed and the CIA was following her. Well, I think she was possessed. I mean, what's worse is that, again, look, all joking aside, 99 parking and camera violations, 21 speeding tickets, 5 red light tickets, 10.5K in fines. And this woman is still driving to kill a mother and 2 children. Again, this is the like that article we talked about before, where this 19-year-old, 18-year-old, whatever teenager swimming. The swimming phenomenon that's been happening in New York and other cities, where they're cutting through traffic at over 100 miles an hour and stealing cars or whatever else, or renting them for Turo, whatever else they get, driving them till they wipe out and crash, and then they go ahead and do it again. But the guy had, or whatever, 32 prior convictions or something like that. What happened after the 5th? What happened after the 12th? What happened after the 18th or 20th? Okay, I know we joke that maybe the guy's hand should have been cut off after maybe the 14th. Just a little bit of leeway. Maybe after the 14th major violation, maybe. But yeah, you know what? If you help someone on the subway system, there you go. Book him immediately, guys. There we go. Back the boom. Book him immediately. Whatever. 99 parking tickets, camera violations, 21 speeding cameras, 5 red light tickets, 10K fine. Nary a warrant. Go, move on your merry way, citizen. Go ahead. No consequences, no changes. You have to do it yourself. Like we saw. Let's talk about this guy, the Goblin Slayer over here. Okay, after getting a fight with 4 people, saves himself.
Theft victim wakes up, strikes one of them, and a fight starts, with at least 4 different men at some point either grabbing or punching the theft victim.
We can't stand for that in New York City. The subway system.
Yeah, but you do. But you do. But you do. You do. So yeah. What do we learn today? You're gonna have to do it yourselves. Again, how cooked are we in this country? When our supposedly our greatest city, and the basically the best system that we have available to us, the best public transit system that we have here in this country. This is how you get in a lot of places. It looks like a flippin' prison. This is what you do to get into a prison. This is the state of our country. It's an open air prison. Okay. And even if you don't have the turnstiles, what happens if you don't have the turnstiles? Well, this is what happens. And Brave just died. Oh man, I need a new PC at some point. All right, where's my? Okay, well we have our soundboard. While Brave starts back up again. Oh, my stream's still going. Let me know on Discord if the stream is still going, guys. There we go. You hear that while Brave gets himself going here again? There we are. Death by a billion tabs. Oh man. Support the high speed. Not even high speed roman. Might be my brain's running slow today. I need a little bit more gas here. It's Friday. Support the American Rail Club, by the way, so we can get a better PC at some point. Oh man. Oh man. Let's see what's going on in the chat over here. Okay, good. Everything is still going. All right. Thank you, OBS. Thank you, OBS. Look, if there's one system or one software that is working on here, OBS. Hello, how about a new PC for Christmas? I'd love that. I'd love that. This thing is over 10 years old, okay? This thing that I'm working on is Asus GL702, okay, with its 1060, and I think it's a Core i7. I think it's at a Kaby Lake. I think it still is. I don't know. Man, we've moved so far from regular NVIDIA 1060 GTX. Yeah, back to what I was saying. There you go. Oh, the honor system in New York. There you go. Oh, more honor system in New York. More honor system. There you go. Wait, check this out. Check. You guys want to see the beautiful art installation in New York? Here you go. This is what probably worth several $1 million that they slushed in. Look at that. Oh man. Oh man. They had to make it look artistic, all the steel wires and cables. I'm pretty sure they'll find some way to get through that too, but look at this. Oh, man. Oh, man. But hey. Yeah, you got to talk about that honor system in New York. You know what I'm saying, guys? Because, just sometimes, people just, use it just to go ahead and help you, and then, yeah. Well, no. Hey, you can jump back the other way. Poor guy just died. Jump in and jump out. Hey, there you go. This country is in a dire situation. We've been saying this for years. Again, you guys want to see it again? That's another thing. With everything going on this week, if you're a guy, now you have to see it. I'm going to open your eyes like in Clockwork Orange. You're going to see it. You're going to watch it again. For those who are queasy or whatever, avert your eyes for a little bit, but there you go. Jump over the turnstiles. Yeah. Welcome to America, folks. Now, it could always be different. It could always be different if we actually had an honorable people again, which we still have them there, but man, it is going to take a lot to get back to. Yeah. Notice in Tokyo Metro. Yeah. You see a severe lack of bars. You see a severe lack of turnstiles. Now, if you notice, all you have to do on the sort of system, and I can show you what you can do because I actually still have it. This is your little, and they've had this for a hell of a lot more years than every other system in this country. This is your Pasmo card, yeah, or Suica card. I actually do have the Pasmo card somewhere. No, never mind. I put it somewhere else. But anyway, here's your Suica card. There you go. You load this up with cash. Heck, you can even use this at a 7-Eleven. You can give it to your kid who can go ahead and go to school, buy himself, something to drink or something like that, some Pocari sweat or whatever, and go to school. And then he can go ahead, go onto the system. All you have to do is tap over there and walk on through. Okay? Now, if you forget to tap, you have these polite little doors that come out, and they're very weak little doors. I mean, you could push them a little bit, and they'll basically give out. They sound a little alarmed, but no, I've never seen anybody or I've never heard the alarm. Apparently, all I've heard is that from reading about the system that it sounds an alarm. That is it. But fare evasion and all that sort of stuff, it's basically non-existent. And that's right. And wait, well, who is the a certain mayor of London, a large city that violence is part and parcel in a large city? Well, here's the largest city in the world, the largest, most populous city on the planet, and they have nary a crime to worry about. At least for now, because it's getting a little hairy in Tokyo. But yeah. Oh, but what happens if there's so many people? Well, yeah. Just tap and walk on through. Tap and walk on through. Okay. I know, yeah, we talk. I'm obsessed about Japan on this. We get it. Yeah. Okay, fine. I'm a weeb. Whatever. But here's another system. And the dastardly communist nation of Russia, which is not too communist right now, but look at this. Yeah, we can do without the Lenin portrait, but look at that. What the hell happened to our country? What the hell happened? Well, supposedly, Russia is doing so bad right now and everything else, but yeah, they can have basically a bit. Now, you want to talk about consequences in Russia? They go a little too far in terms of the consequences in Russia. Okay, you get caught there smoking a little bit of the Zaza, and you're as good as dead, unless you happen to be an overblown WNBA player. Then yeah, maybe we'll give up the Merchant of Death to trade in for you. But apart from that, you're not. You're kind of sad. But hey. It's a little bit too much, but look at. I mean, it's just absolutely just immaculate. Okay, we can do something like that in this country? Okay, some people just say, yeah, it's a little too much over here. It's a little too much in Tokyo. But you know what? It was the only place on the entire planet, apart from hiking out in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. Never I've gotten a chance to do that. I haven't done it in a good bit. I have to get out there probably for the fall when it gets a little cooler. But when I used to do it all the time, 2 or 3 years ago, the only time, and let's put it this way, the only time in any metropolitan area where I never, ever had to look over my shoulder or be like this all the time or whatever. Now, I'm not literally like that, but where I don't have to be looking all over the place or saying, that guy looks like he's got something in his pocket. That guy is shifting around. That guy is picking something that is not a knife in his pocket. He is picking something else. The only time I didn't have to do that was in Tokyo, Japan. Part and parcel of a big city. Yeah, look, it can happen. We can have this. We can have it all in this country. We can, but just got to get things right. All right, 8:45. A little bit longer than I thought, but it's going to give you guys 30 minutes at least to talk. 30 minutes to talk until 9:15. But one last thing. One last thing. Good news. One of the guys on X, Yimby Land, has added another addition to his family. Congratulations, congratulations, Yimby Land. Congratulations, he had a new baby. There we are. Well, I know some good news, folks, but look, if we want this country safer for not just us, but for our children's future, we really got to be serious. We got to be serious. I know we don't have that much power now. All we can do is talk amongst ourselves and do the best that we can within our own communities. But it's whatever little we got, it's little that we can do. Okay? Because the little things, like you see in this picture, the little things can grow up to make a big change. Okay? That's what we're fighting for in this country. It's not just us, it's for our nation and its future. Okay? This is where it comes down to. All right? Okay, guys. Let's bring you all on. Wow, we have a good amount of people here waiting in the wings here in the audience. Oh, yeah. It is going to be fun tonight. Let me see. Actually, let me bring this out over here. You guys don't have to see my my Hell Divers Discord channel or whatever. Let me pop that out. There we go. I thought I can barely play video games anymore, but hey, whenever I do, it's Hell Divers. Alrighty, guys, let me bring everybody on. There you go. Maybe got to bring like a game night or something like that, like some train simulator or something like that, or whatever else, or movie night.
Good.
Hey, everybody! All right, hold on. Let me get the rest of the gang here. Here we go. Come on.
We gotta pay our respects to a fallen brother.
Yeah. F in the chat for Charlie.
Moment of silence.
And
pray for Charlie.
I'm just gonna say this as quick as possible.
Also pray for the 9/11 victims, since it's been 24 years.
24 years.
I also want to say, like, what really hurts me the most is imagine having to look at his two kids and say, "Daddy's not coming home."
No, that got me.
That's one of the probably the hardest things you want to ever say to your kid.
And to make it actually, my newest boss was a big fan of Charlie Kirk.
That is really what hits me.
And he said and he's really upset about the worst part of it is that in front of his two little children, shot. Now their childhoods will be forever scarred. And their lives.
Yeah, and the worst part is that there was evidence that his daughter got scared and ran to her daddy's arms, only for him not to be able to hold her.
Yeah, no, it's.
And the worst part is that there are people who are celebrating this. I am freaking pissed off about that.
Oh, the people are celebrating it. If I see anybody if I ever see anybody who celebrates it, I'm gonna smack the shit out of them.
Oh yeah. I would actually
smack them so hard. I don't care if I go to jail. I will literally tell the police officers that they were actually celebrating his death, and then they're gonna be like, "You ain't no sicko, he is."
No, it's
like you left behind a whole family. You left behind a whole family, including a wife and kids. And think about the trauma that those kids are going to have now.
No, it's just terrible, man.
My cousin, she didn't have a father figure in her life. I know what's going to happen if they don't have a good father figure in their life.
Charlie Kirk actually tackled the issue. Most ironic.
Someone already got the shit beat out of them for doing that.
Oh, really?
Man.
No joke, on video. Like, it happened in Idaho. They were doing a candle vigil for him. Some BLM idiots came in, mocking them, insulting them, and doing everything. And next thing you know, they jumped his behind, pulled him off his little dirt bike, and started beating the crap out of him.
Oh man! Oh, there you go. Look, no, there you gotta have some consequences there. So, look, there was a tweet that went out. I'm trying to find it, but in terms of that,
the facts are that you have to be a lot more secure in this kind of society. You can't. The fact of the reality is you cannot have all that security and armed forces around yourself.
Every right of that.
Not that practical either. If only there was a couple of advanced drones in the sky with advanced cameras, he would have been alive today because they would have warned him.
Well, the problem was he was in a gun-free zone, so he couldn't have armed security. And even though he had hired some security, and there was plainclothes officers in the group.
I don't want to bring conspiracy theory into this, but you should see what the two security guards behind him were doing before he got shot. One of them in the white clothing touched his hat, like signaling the sniper, get ready. And then the other one that was almost directly behind Charlie, I think he put his left hand on his right arm, moved his right arm, and kind of nudged it towards Charlie and said, "Hit this guy, kill this guy." Told the sniper who to kill.
Yeah, I know there's a whole lot going around what it could have been or whatever. The minute I saw the rifle,
I would like to second that.
Hold on, real quick, guys, real quick.
This can show you that being
I would like to.
a speaker
All right,
speaking directly
hold on.
against the system, against the grain of the system that's controlling the government, can be worse than joining a gang. So your life is
hold on, stop.
Hey guys, can I
one at a
speak
time?
for a minute? Because I've been drowned out already so much.
Okay, we're gonna go around. I'm gonna give the talking stick to everybody. Okay, everybody's gonna get a minute. Okay, so David, you go.
I got something very cool that it happening tomorrow, and it on a YouTube channel. I put the link to it, and it for official World Tram Driver Championship.
World
Isn't
what?
that in Dusseldorf, Germany?
Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh, tram driver. Okay, here we are.
This is gonna be one of those German things I'm gonna bet on at 3 a.m.
Yep.
Now remember, you can only bet it at 3 a.m. before it starts.
Okay, well, it starts in 7 hours, guys. If you want to get your mind off of all the somberness of the week, there you go. The World Driver Championship happening in, of course, Germany, where autism reigns supreme in that country. There you go.
Yep.
All right. So,
how long is it?
We'll put that.
Cue the video of the guy of the POV. I should be in bed. Me watching the German forklift championship games.
One of the team is from the American. One of them is an American team.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not betting on the American team at this rate. All right. Okay. All right, David, you're a minute over. Okay. All right, Darius, your turn. 1 minute.
All right. Okay. So as I was saying,
1 minute. Go.
Okay. If there was probably a drone looking up with advanced cameras, he would have been alive today. All right. Back to the topic. You see how clean Tehran Metro Rail is? And all our quote-unquote axis of evil, their societal rail systems. But yet, look what ours is.
Yeah, it's kind of hypocritical and sad, and it's honestly, it's like if we're supposed to be the best country in the world, we should have the best rail systems in the world, and it's kind of pathetic and it's sad, and we deserve a hell of a lot better. But yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah,
all righty, minute over. Minor treat, your turn.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, when it comes to the mass transit options, she really was from Ukraine, so she was used to riding the rail, so she didn't think about it at all. So, because if you're in Ukraine, are you going to take the bus? Not really. Are you going to drive? Well, there's not the culture of driving, so it's like she just took what was comfortable. The only problem was she really didn't think that such evil can be sitting right next to her without her knowledge.
Lurking around.
Yeah. No, that's an extreme.
On police officers
Darius. All right, guys, one at a time. It's Minotary's turn.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the easiest way of doing it is if you want to go on the political side. It's like, all right, you want to take the death penalty option. All right, if it's a clear case that we 100% know you did it, it's now on the table. If there's even a hint of doubt that there was a group that killed an individual and we don't know who in the group did it, all right, you can either speak now or we can figure out who it is and everyone else gets multiple life sentences. Yeah. But if it's like there's absolutely positively a chance that action happened, but we cannot prove who did it, then you take death penalty off the situation.
Yeah, no,
that's the only way of doing it.
Completely get you, man. Yeah. Speaking of, here on the screen, here is Kiev metro system, Zoloti Vorota metro station. Very similar to the Moscow station. Very, very beautiful, ornate, just absolutely gorgeous stations. So this was the type of system that Irina Zarutska was familiar with. This is what she thought, okay, a world-class system. There you go. This is a country that, again, has been on, in between a lot. Okay, it has gone through a lot of stages in just the past 200 years. Okay, and there you go. They have a working metro system. In fact, it's still working even during wartime and still used as a bomb shelter now. This doubles that. But again, she went from, this was from a war-torn country to go from there to this. It's yeah. This is probably, that's a very, very good point to bring up, Minotaur. That's 100% correct on that. Alrighty, who next gets the talking stick? Dump Trucker, your turn. 1 minute. Go ahead.
I pretty much said everything I need to say, but it's just I had trying to gather my thoughts. You can move on to the next person.
Alrighty, no worries, man. Alright, Star Force, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that just briefly going back to the Charlie Kirk shooting. I saw on a news article that there was a report that there was some kind of like leftist talk that was going on with his father, like with his parents, but then after the shooting, and then his dad actually kind of disowns him and reveals that to him that he was the shooter. So I think this is kind of a radicalized thing from their family, and then but it's kind of confusing, but I feel like it was kind of family related.
It was definitely. I agree with that. It was family related, but he was also a police officer. It was his job to tell the truth on that situation, and actions have consequences. And I'm sure there was a pretty long talk about it too. Like, you should have never done that, and now you're going to go to the police.
Yeah, I agree. This could have been something that, look, you have custody of your own children, and you keep letting that happen for however long amount of time that this guy has been on the look, if it is him, because I don't know, the whole thing is still fishy to me. Yeah, no, the minute that I saw that piece of garbage Savage Axis 2 rifle that was used, where the scope was mounted so far back to give you pirate eye if you would actually shoot the whole thing just makes no sense. Like, no, that is a piece of garbage rifle that has a garbage MOA. For somebody, you can't fold that. I mean, unless you have like a whole entire screws and everything to take it off the vices. The whole thing makes no sense. But regardless, look, they killed Charlie for basically believing in something that he doesn't even believe. Most of the time, they believe in. They call them everything from right wing, and he was the most moderate of that's the thing, and that's what sickens me even more. Okay, you can be like Charlie, who believed in the best, and that there was still some sort of hope in this country. Who is still, and he was actually coming more and more towards our side of things. He was understanding what the reality of what this country needs and what this country was going to. But now he'll never ever get to that, and it's opened the door for everybody to like know. Just look, even if you are a moderate, even if you are trying to open up dialogue with the other side, that is what they're going to do to you, and that is the most sickening thing and the biggest alarm bell to everybody else to understand, because things are getting a lot worse in this country, and that was more or less. I mean, I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how many tipping points.
Radicals get things done.
Yeah,
and if they're going
but he also, from
the
my
grain,
religious standpoint, devoted his life to Christ, and
they're
it
probably going to get
made him
they're
just a
probably
great
gonna get
man.
yeah, and that's
anyway.
that's the thing that's sad. Look, we can. We of course we made jokes about Charlie, like towards let's back to the Groiper War, him having the small face or whatever. But generally, he didn't mean any harm to anybody. He was never going to harm anybody, or never wanted this sort of thing towards his opponents. Okay, and the man is 31. He's 2 weeks older than I am. Okay, which it hits me even harder. And Darius, I know you've seen Charlie at the events, and I know other people who've been at the events and everything. And it hits very hard, and it's infuriating. And I mean, I can't find the tweet, but I can just go ahead and put it here. Charlie got murdered for holding my views, and he doesn't even hold them. That's the thing. Okay, is that. It doesn't. That's the thing. Even if you want to be moderate, they're going to still think that you're a right wing, Austrian painter mustache man. And at that point, I don't have to say the rest. But that's the worst part of it. Okay, who hasn't spoken yet? Adam Everywhere, go ahead. You got the talking stick, man.
Well, I don't really have anything in mind or any news out yet, but I have went to a Yankees game a couple weeks ago in the Bronx, and I can tell you, it's a different neighborhood than what I'm used to. It's completely different.
No, it's man, it's
the Elfair has the Elfair server underneath it. That's not something I'm used to, but it is pretty packed, pretty busy, especially on game days.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
So I don't really have that.
Yeah, no, that's at least a good thing there. Okay, Grand Trunk Line, you got the talking stick.
In regards to transit systems, here, in regards to transit systems, right in my neck of the woods, which is Kalamazoo, Michigan, well, we have okay bus service, but it could have been much better. We still have Amtrak service.
Yeah, no, it's the thing. And didn't Kalamazoo once have a streetcar system?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, it's just sad. This country could just be doing so much better, man. Minor Tree, you got like the most disconcerting laugh half the time, man.
I'm playing a game with somebody else at the same time. So
okay. That's what I was saying. Because like it feels like sometimes at the most inappropriate times, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. Okay.
Speaking of buses and crimes, there's another case. Have you ever heard of Timothy Richard McLean? That he got not only stabbed to death on a Greyhound bus, but also beheaded.
Okay,
Timothy
that's
Richard McLean.
All right, Darius, put the. I tell you what, find the link, put it in the chat. One more person hasn't spoken yet. Brightline fan with the Clippy avatar. Go ahead, I see you there in the chat, man. You got the talking stick. Brightline fan.
Your turn.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so basically about Charlie Kirk, there are some people on the left that actually, the people on the left actually said that they're not going to talk with fascists. They're not going to have any dialogues. And instead of that, they're going to point us with a bullet. That's what they're doing here. That is out of place.
Yeah, look, I've just been saying it, man. It's like at this point, it's just like sometimes you just have to be in charge of your own life.
Man,
it's getting sad, but it's like you know what? we're getting to a breaking point, and it's the parable of the man who just wanted to be left alone. Okay, Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote about this, where those are going to be the one who just wants to be left alone, the man who just wanted to just have a good life and do his own thing, because the minute he knows that he has to do some absolutely extreme, unspeakable act to defend himself or his family, there is no turning back. And the unfortunate part is that a lot of us just want to be left alone. We just want to have a country that just works, just want to have working transit and all this sort of stuff. And this is what we're left to deal with.
And yet there are some people who don't want that. They just want to mess up our lives. And that's not the country that I don't want to be. That's the country that I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is they're building a country that's slowly boiling their anger against them. So it's only a matter of time before they cross a line that they're never going to return from.
Yeah.
And the only thing you can pray is that line never gets crossed.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to that line day by day, bro. Speaking of...
if you guys want to do like a little bit of historical reading, definitely read up about the Spanish Civil War, because that's something that we're getting close to getting to.
We're sadly getting very close to World War III right now.
I don't know about that. I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, we've been talking about that for like 3 years now. It's like if it's not Israel, it's Ukraine and Russia. And if it's not that, it's Iran. I mean,
well, now it's going to actually be NATO, because Putin has decided to move troops towards the Polish border. However, my issue with Poland is that Poland has been wanting to pull an Article 5 for quite a long time.
Yeah,
they pulled an Article 4 earlier yesterday.
Yes, because of Russia's drones. But they've been wanting to pull an Article 4 and Article 5 for years. They've just been waiting for someone to make a move.
Wasn't the last time? What happened the last time that Poland got pushed into a war with something? And when the UK promised said, "Oh yeah, we'll protect you, Poland," and then what happened? Because Poland always gets screwed over whenever there's some sort of world war. Yeah. So do not repeat the same mistake, Poland. Just please do not. It's only going to be worse for everybody.
Poland now has a saying, "Never again," and Poland shall not fall again.
Look,
they're taking that from us because, never. Another thing that happened this week: never forget.
Yeah.
Not delivered, baby.
Look, it's Schrodinger's Russia. Russia is so dangerous and terrible that they'll go over through Europe in a week, but yet Russia is so weak that they can't even get to Kiev. So. What is
they might have a bigger nuclear arsenal than us, but the fact they're struggling to even defeat the littlest country as a country the size of Texas, or a country the size of Texas, is pretty.
Look, just
the war is going to take over all of Europe is overblown. He's just going to get Eastern Europe that fits his culture.
Trigger happy, and we're all going to be fighting.
Yeah. Look, at this point, look, all I say is it's done. Just let them have Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk, and that's it. There's really nothing else at this point that you can do. Ukraine is going to take generations for it to recover.
Yeah, but I think I have a feeling that the United States would actually enter this conflict directly into Russia. I don't think that's not. I hope that's not going to happen.
Yeah. All right. For anybody who's new to the American Rail Club, welcome. We have plenty of geopolitics here. We don't just talk about trains. But speaking of, let me bring this back to trains over here. So for those of you who are watching the live stream, I did go to Elkhart this week, and when I did have a little bit of time, I did make a pit stop nearby. And there's a new poster that is going on the wall. I did visit the National New York Central Railroad Museum, putting the system back on track. So that is. There you go. I got a couple of other little souvenirs too. Yeah. And it was the only museum that you could pull the whistle. Like they just let you open the trains wide open. You can walk in there.
The actual whistle from the locomotive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring up the video over here for you guys real quick. While I'm trying to find that. I did also get they had some photos that you guys can that you can pick up. This is from 1981 that somebody took. Look at that. There you go. There's good old Amtrak over there. 1981. Okay, and then this one is more recent. This is 2018. This is beautiful since we're coming into September and everything. There you go. That's really nice. Actually, it was no. It doesn't give me the exact date. It says 2018, but. Let me see if I can find the whistle video here.
Hey, Dimitri, heads up. The Fisher Group is now making fun of his death.
Alan Fisher.
Yep, their group. I literally just spotted a meme in their Discord.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. What is the website? Isn't it called? Here we are. By the way, there is a website. It's called charliesmurderers.com. There you go. Use that. I don't have to explain what to do with it, but go ahead and use that. Anyway, here's the video over here for the whistle over here. Let's just get. There we are. I didn't upload it onto on my PC yet, but here you go. Hold on. Wait, let me just play it.
I can't believe they actually made a website out of it.
Got it. Well, hey, the face, my back, that was cool.
That was cool.
I'll make you want to go.
There you go. Alrighty, so you think for the soundboard?
The Avelia, back to the transit server. Now that the Avelias are out, when will the arrows come out? Will they just take just as long? Or will they speed those up?
Oh, let's start a betting pool for that.
Don't you dare!
Do you want me to give odds?
Start running next year.
Yeah, give some odds.
They won't start running them next year. Well, I find hysterical about that.
Next year's too long. Give me a month.
No. I agree, but don't forget. Remember the Avelias. Oh yeah, they're going to be in service next year. 5 years later,
no, they're going to be in service in 2020.
Hey, dump trucker,
but every single year. But now they're out, we can actually ride them.
I'm putting 20 on 2028.
You're putting 20 on 2028.
2028. There you go.
I would actually put mine on 2029.
2029. There we go. Okay. Let's see if I break.
That's a couple years away.
I'm betting money on 2027.
All right, guys. Last minute. Wife wants to get ice cream at Culver's. It's a Midwest thing. You wouldn't understand.
I've been to Culver's. I think.
Culver's, dude. It's like the best ice cream. Well, sort of.
Everything's covered in butter.
All righty. Last minute. What are the last words? Any last words?
We have a container that had container fell right off the container ship on video.
Oh no! You have the video.
What?
Let me look for it again because it all over the news.
Okay, I didn't see that. But then again, all right, hold on, Darius. You put in the killing of Tim McLean. I can just we'll look at that the next time. We want to end on a good note, so yeah. We'll get something on the New York Central Railway Museum soon.
Well, if you're wanting good news, my birthday is technically tomorrow.
All right, there we go. Happy birthday, Minor Tree.
Happy birthday.
There you go.
I won't tell you how old I am because my mom already told me I was getting old.
You're getting old.
Happy birthday is what you're here to say. Hey, happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday from ARC to you. Happy birthday.
We got to record that now. We're recording that and making that a soundboard thing. Thank you, Dump
That's
Trucker.
actually from a local restaurant. That sings it. I've been that song for years, and now I want to use it.
Alrighty, guys. Well, anyway, we have reached the end of our stream. We hope you guys got some information, at least some sort of levity from it. But yeah, look, it's getting dark out there. But at least look, with all you guys and all you friends out there, you guys are my friends. We're all friends here. So at least if we can meet like this every week, it's always a good week, right? All right.
One day, you know what? One day, one of these days, we all ought to meet up.
Yeah, we all got to do an IRL meetup at some point. But yeah,
eventually,
yeah, but everyone's gonna have to wear a name tag.
Well,
don't
yeah,
worry.
because we
All I
all
gotta do is just, I'll just be like, I'll just roll up and.
We'll go to Culver's.
Yeah, I put my security bets on.
Alrighty.
You'll know I roll up.
Oh, my instability bets.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining on board on this episode of the American Rail Club. We hope you all stay safe out there. Godspeed. We will see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. See you next time.
Take care.
See you next time.
Take care, bye.